Back. So around the holidays, this is usually a really good reminder of how we can help other people who are in need.
Yeah, Northwest Harvest has some facts about the truth about hunger in Washington. 1 in 5 kids, 1 in 9 people live in a household that struggles to put food on the table.
And the majority of working age Washingtonians who live in poverty are actively working or looking for work. 1 in 7 Washingtonians relying on SNAP. That's the food stamp program. Half of all people on SNAP, though, are kids. And the program is facing possible budget cuts.
And Nikki Hurley joins us now with Northwest Harvest. You are a community specialist and anti-hunger advocate. You work with a lot of people affected by hunger. What should we know about their experience?
Absolutely. Thank you all so much for having me here today. It's a pleasure to join you. Like you mentioned, SNAP is actually facing some pretty big budget cuts, potential budget cuts coming up. So what you should know about people's experience of who are living with hunger and poverty is that they are working jobs, like you mentioned, and there's just not enough to make the ends meet. The self-sufficiency standards for Washington State, working a minimum wage job, even 40 hours a week, is not enough to cover the basic costs of living. And we know that food is the first thing that people give up when they're trying to make sure that they have roof over their heads, transportation, get to their jobs.
And that's the one thing when we mentioned kids, that's why that resonates so strongly with people.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's hard to comprehend the fact that 1 in 5 children in Washington State does not know where their next meal is going to come from, whether it's going to be healthy enough to keep them thriving and getting those good grades in school we all know they're going to get.
And that's the tough thing. I'll be honest, I cover high school sports, and I was at a Federal Way Beamer High School game, and the coach came up to me and says, I don't worry about when the kids are here, I worry about when they go home, because I don't know if they're going to have a meal when they go home, and that is so tough for these young adults who are just trying to make the grade, do well in athletics, and so it's great that Northwest Harvest gets involved. How can everybody watching right now get involved?
Oh, well, tons of ways. Whatever your skills and passions are, we can find a way for you to get involved. Of course, it is the season of giving, so giving food at all the food drives. Home Team Harvest is coming up on Saturday, as well as giving money. And then there's always a way for you to advocate and get involved during the whole year. So if you sign up, we can always get action alerts to you to advocate for SNAP, to make sure that these kids have food, to make sure that the nutrition in schools is up to standards that makes kids' brains learn well and their bodies strong. There's all ways to get involved.
What have you learned from working with people who have been on one side of this and they've come out the other side and worked through to being back in a place where they can provide for themselves?
Great question. Well, so I work with people who have experienced hunger and poverty, and honestly, a lot of people, it's cyclical. So we have plenty of people who've worked through it. They said, you know, we needed to use food banks and SNAP and piece together these things and scrimp and save, and we are in a place that we're comfortable now. But then we also have people who say, you know, I was writing checks to you 2 years ago, and then I got sick, and now here I am at the food bank once again. Can you help me get onto SNAP? Or I just make $10 too much and I can't receive food stamps, and it's the holiday season and I need to buy presents for my kids. So really what I've learned is that hunger is pretty invisible, and it could happen to any of us, and it's likely happening to many neighbors, and we're just not talking about it.
And I love what you said about, obviously this Saturday is so important. It's a big day to bring in money, to bring in food, but we need to do this year-round. It can't just be one day, correct?
Absolutely. We actually received the majority of our donations in the last month of the year, and we would love to have that spaced out a little bit more. But we'd also love to have your voice, to have your volunteer hours all year round so that we can fight hunger together.
Thank you so much, Nikki. We really appreciate it.
It's so good to
And
be
here's
here.
some more information. We've been talking about Saturday, December 1st, Home Team Harvest from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. And for more information, you can text the keyword harvest to 206-448-4545. We'd love to see you out. We're going to be in as many neighborhoods as we can on Saturday. And as Nikki was saying, keep it going into the new year, too.
Absolutely. Thank you.